I was playing hide and go seek at my cousin's house, and she had a glass door and I ran through it. I saw a big chunk of glass in it, and so I decided I'd just pull it out, and then my brother came along because he heard about it, and he called 911 and got towels and wrapped me up.
Sept County 911, what's your emergency?
Okay. My sister cut her arm, and she's bleeding, and she's unconscious.
Okay, what's your address?
2404. Hurry, please.
Okay, we'll get an ambulance en route.
Hurry, please, hurry up.
Okay.
Mostly, I said, am I going to die? And I was scared, and I told him that I didn't want to have to get stitches, and I just didn't want to go through the hard stuff.
I just never seen so much blood. And it was on the grass, it was on the driveway, it was on the porch.
And it wasn't too much longer than that. A lady said that we're going to care flight her. The second biggest amount of blood I've ever seen was in the ER.
When we got to the emergency room, she was stable but critical.
The worst part about being in the hospital was when I was in the emergency room. They had to clean out the glass, and it sort of hurt because they were sort of rubbing it hard.
The most amazing thing that I saw, though, was just how strong she was. Usually when you see someone with this type of injury, they're just devastated, but she was very cooperative during the exam, and for what she had gone through, was very calm and very responsive to all of our questions.
But the damage was extensive. It was probably 5 or 6 centimeters. What looked like happened, the piece of glass went in, and then she might have pulled her arm out and it cut again on the way out, but at a different angle. It also went between the bones and out the other side, so there's damage not only on the front side, but on the back side as well. It was clear from the exam of her hand that there was no blood flow. Normally it would be nice and pink, and hers was clearly white. And where in a resting position our hand normally sits with our fingers slightly bent, hers were totally outstretched, which is again a very obvious sign that everything's been cut.
Both her main arteries were severed, along with tendons and muscles, and the main concern were the 2 arteries, and he felt like that if he could save one artery, then he could save her arm. And we just kind of took a deep breath and said, okay.
We didn't understand the full extent of it until we really got her in the operating room. At that point we knew that her hemoglobin level had dropped very significantly, that she needed a transfusion. And so as we were starting our operation, the anesthesiologist was taking care of that aspect of it. The hemoglobin was down to 5, which really is getting to the critical level. The first step in the surgery was to restore blood flow, because that's the most critical part. When the muscles don't have blood supply for a period of time, and hers was over 5 hours, there's a risk that even if you do reestablish blood flow, they just don't work.
When it's your child, you just pray, God, please just send somebody to help my child. I can't do it. I'm not strong enough. And you have your family and you have your friends to support you. But when it's your baby, and you just hand them over in a 10.5-hour surgery, you just pray, Lord, please, guide those doctors and nurses. And when they come out and they put their hand on you and say, she's going to be fine, it's just such a relief. Raylee looked a little peaked when she came out of surgery. She was a little white. She had been under anesthesia for a long time. And the first words out of her mouth when I leaned over to her, she said, Mom, this has been horrible. So I knew that was my dramatic little girl. I knew I had her back.
I was very surprised at her progress. She had a devastating injury and has done remarkably well with it. The most impressive thing is just her and her parents being able to work so well with the physiotherapist and occupational therapist to really make this hand work.
She is a go-getter, a very just energetic and just very sweet girl that just was ready to help and do whatever she could possibly do. And I think the whole time she had a very positive outlook and didn't let this get her down and just stayed optimistic the entire time.
It's amazing, and Scott and White and Dr. Mahabir and all the people that worked with her are large contributors to that. And God played a big part, and He was the physician on call. You can't have a situation where it starts as this one did, and ends as this one did, and it not be a miracle.
I'm thankful for my doctors and my friends and family that came. And I'm thankful for the Children's Miracle Network and the people that I maybe don't even know supported me.